Hello, everyone. I'm James Milan. Welcome to this town hall update. And of course, for our town hall update, who else would we get but our town manager, Jim Feeney, is here. Jim, nice to see you this week,
Good morning.
as always. Good morning to you. We've got the usual bunch of things to cover today. So we're going to talk about the Spring Civic Academy that is going to get underway pretty soon. We've got town meeting coming up probably faster than anybody thinks. And so that Warrant article, we want to talk about the Warrant being available. We've got Arlington Reads Together, the community read that's going to happen in March. We want to talk about that and some upcoming election reminders as well. Let's start, though, with Arlington's master plan and the updating thereof. I talked to Claire Ricker about this recently, and she calls it AMP Up, or I guess that is the official moniker now. So can you tell us what should people know about this updating of the master plan?
Sure. Thanks, James. And great that you already have the acronym. AMP Up is a clever one. I appreciated it when I saw the artwork for it. So, yeah, as you may have learned, and as you may recall, right, that the town did publish a master plan back in 2015.
I remember.
Sort of a reminder of even how long I've worked here. It seems like just yesterday that we went through that long process, but here we are, almost 10 years later, ready to publish and update. So similar to that first initial process to develop the master plan, this is going to rely on a significant and sort of long-standing and far-reaching public outreach and participation campaign to sort of create this updated document that's going to guide the direction and set our goals and objectives, hopefully for the next 10 years and maybe more. So the first step in that process is to develop the Master Plan Update Advisory Committee, aka the AMP Up Committee. We are going to have a virtual information session at 6 p.m. with our Department of Planning and Community Development Director, Claire Ricker. So though all are welcome, we are inviting those who may wish to participate on the advisory committee to come learn more about what the process may entail and what the commitment would be. But obviously this is sort of one of the cornerstone planning documents for the community, for which all of our other goals and plans tie into. So this sort of overarching document is not only good for town officials to sort of guide our decision making, but it also opens doors for other potential funding opportunities when we have certain plans codified and sort of on the shelf in the community. So applications for the committee will be open on March 1st, so shortly after the information session. And obviously to learn more about what the master plan update process might look like, to read the current master plan and to register for the virtual information session on the 29th, certainly visit arlingtonma.gov/masterplan.
Yeah, the development and the updating of this master plan, it is the definition of a community-wide project because, of course, it's setting the vision and leading to real things, complete streets, electrify Arlington, real programs that are going to be put into place because as this vision kind of takes hold. Great, so let's move on to the Civic Academy, another opportunity for citizen engagement, of course. Yep. The Civic Academy spring session is just starting up soon.
It will be, so it will start in April. Again, this is our second session. We just ran our first Civic Academy session this past fall. I think we all think it was, wildly successful, and there was a real thirst to bring the program back. And in fact, we had a lot of people apply the first time around that, we just exceeded our capacity. So we are happy to offer a 2024 spring session so that it will run for 6 weeks. So it'll span April and May. Each session is approximately 2 hours. And each session is attended by different town officials to discuss a different facet of the town government. So by the end of the 6 weeks, you have a real solid overview of our local government operations with really some sort of intimate discussions, but also hands-on activities that reflect sort of the things that happen not only within our departments, but on certain committees with respect to making decisions that impact the town. So it really is an opportunity to gain a better understanding of how your town works, but also learn about the role that you can play in your local government. I think we've seen already the graduates of the first Civic Academy are either, potentially considering a run for town meeting, or are, keeping their eye on board and committee openings to see what might serve their interests. So applications are open now and will remain open through March 18th. And really, the desire is to just introduce new people to their local government, and is really geared towards those who may wish to join a town committee or commission, or run for town meeting, or some other elected office, though all are welcome to apply.
Great. Talking about running for town meeting, let's discuss the fact that the warrant is now available.
Great segue. The draft warrant for the spring annual town meeting is now available on the town's website. So as you may recall, town meeting is going to start this year on Wednesday, April 24th at 8 p.m. So the warrant is currently available in its draft form. Obviously, it can be viewed on our website. We will be sending that to the printer in early March, and then it will be mailed to all residents in mid-March. So that will be landing on doorsteps within the month, and it will, it sets the agenda for the town meeting body and what business the legislative body will be taking up in this particular session. So you can certainly check it out now, but stay tuned for it to arrive on your doorstep as well.
And can I ask actually just a quick follow-up question on that? This is the draft of the warrant. Is there much change that happens or can happen between now and the final publication, or not?
Generally, it would only be minor changes that happen, but the select board does have a significant amount of discretion and control over the warrant. So they would have the opportunity, should they need to make adjustments. But, just last night at our select board meeting, we determined that we weren't even going to need to hold a special town meeting within the annual town meeting. So I think we're really honing in on what the warrant is going to look like. And sometimes there aren't necessarily amendments or changes, but it might just be the ordering of the warrant articles, for example, that could be adjusted. But the sort of business on the agenda remains the same.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. It was the draft that kind of threw me a little bit, but I realized what you're talking about. It's really just the difference. But like this, people can look at this and realize, yes, this is substantially what the warrant is going to look like. Great. So election information. We've got elections coming up, and rather a big one further down the line in this year. But give us the updates there.
Sure. So March 5th is the presidential primary, which means, believe it or not, if the election's on March 5th, voting is starting soon. In fact, I believe this weekend early voting starts on February 24th, and that will run through March 1st. And we will offer early voting in the town hall auditorium. The last day to register to vote for the presidential primary is also Saturday, February 24th. So that leads me to believe you could come to the clerk's office on Saturday, register to vote, but also vote early in the presidential primary. And on March 5th, the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So just a reminder on the hours.
All right, great. And finally, in terms of our official agenda of what we're talking about today, we've got Arlington Reads Together, a community read that happens every March, and usually does galvanize a large segment of our community. So tell us about this year's.
Right. So, it returns again, as it often does in March of the year. This year's selected title is Solito by Javier Zamora, a New York Times bestseller. So in this book, a young poet tells the unforgettable story of his migration from El Salvador to the U.S. at the age of 9. So certainly a timely and well-selected piece. So as is often the case, it's Community Reads Together, but we also build a number of events surrounding the book choice. And the library, again, has many events planned, but it will culminate in a virtual author talk with Mr. Zamora on Saturday, March 30th. So community members are invited to attend in person or online via Zoom for a moderated discussion about the book. Full details about this and other events are, as always, available on the Robbins Library website.
Great. Yeah, and as you mentioned, it's, the community read always culminates in a single event at some point, but there are so many great ways in which to engage with both the book itself and the topic more generally as the library lays out. So let's hope people take advantage of that. I think they will.
Please do.
All right. Anything that we are missing?
I would say we did talk about the presidential primary, and I know we'll probably have an opportunity to speak closer to the date, but Arlington's annual election this year will be on April 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So save the date. And then beyond that, while I have the opportunity, I just want to thank Deputy Fire Chief Jim Bailey for 27 years of honorable service to the town of Arlington. He was actually just hired to become the fire chief in the town of Bedford and recently had his last shift. So, we want to wish him well in his new endeavor, but also thank him for his many years of dedicated service, many of which towards the end as one of our deputy chiefs.
Great. That's a long career here in Arlington, so best of luck to him in Bedford for sure.
Agreed.
All right, and that wraps it up, I guess.
That wraps
yes?
it up.
I would think so. Okay, he is Jim Feeney. He is our town manager. I have been speaking to him for this town hall update. He's made the trek up Mass Ave here yet again to the studio. We really appreciate Jim doing that and taking the time to share all this with you. We appreciate you being here as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. James Milan. Bye-bye.